What is up, people? It is KikiZilla 101 here yet again, and today we're going to do another live stream. In particular, today's live stream is going to be about Mesozoic. We have another Mesozoic live stream. We haven't done one of these in... how long has it been? Last time we did one of these was on January 4th of this year. So like over 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. So we're gonna talk about Mesozoic. We're going to answer questions you guys have. This is mostly brought up because I had somebody comment on the Mesozoic intro video, and they were saying like, "Hey, when's Mesozoic coming out? You know, it's been so long. You post a lot of teasers, and I'm kind of like not even hyped for it anymore." And, you know, but great work on everything you've done so far. And I was like, you know, I don't blame him. I mean, it's taking a really long time. I don't blame him for not being hyped anymore. And, you know, I also wanted to give another chance, because we haven't done a live stream in a while, for any people that do join in on these live streams to understand what's going on and why certain things have happened. So, yeah, we're going to just get through all that. I do want to wait until we get like a little bit more people in here before I start explaining my little recap on what has happened. I'll try to keep it short for those of you who already know what's happened. But I do want to just wait a little bit longer just to get some people in here. What a pleasant surprise. Yeet. It's stream, me boy. How are you, Kiki? I'm good. How are you, Prehistoric Dinosaur? When will episode 1 come out? Well, I think at this point I've pretty much decided that I'm going to release episode 1 early. So you can expect it very soon. I just need to get Mandy's narration done, and then I can put it up for the patrons, and then you guys will get to see it. So, yeah. It's been a while since I've been on one of these streams. Well, welcome back, my dude. Can we ask about the behind the scenes? You can. Yeah, you can ask some behind the scenes stuff. I won't answer too much stuff right now on like specifics, but in general and stuff, like I guess there might be some stories I might be able to tell, but I will make I will make an actual behind the scenes well, actually I don't know, I think it should be more like behind the scenes rather than the making of Mesozoic, but I will be making one of those after Mesozoic comes out, everything's out. I will be making some one of those. That'll be pretty cool. I'm going to walk a Mesozoic mile. Cool. Lord Fragilis is here. Where is Mesozoic Bio? Well, we're going to wait for a little bit more people to come in here. I was going to try to aim for around 15 people, and then I'll make a quick explanation, just recapping on what exactly happened, why it got delayed so much, and what the status is right now. What are we talking about? Yeah, read the title. I assume there is no release date. Now, I'm not releasing a release date on purpose. I mean, I've told you this multiple times, Sketchy, but also I've said this a couple times that I'm not going to release a release date just yet, because I want to actually have enough episodes done where I feel confident that I can start, you know, letting them out at a steady rate. And I don't want to make any more promises that I might not be able to hold up to. So I have to say, I say I'm still looking forward to it, as you must be putting a ton of work into it. It's taking you so freaking long to edit. It's taking absurdly long to edit. It is. And I am putting a ton of work into it, but I also had a lot of talks with Spino Dude and Camo Source in particular. I want to give big shout outs to, because they were really helpful in helping me with motivation for certain things, but also really helping me with techniques, and they were helping talk me, you know, into trying different methods of editing. And Camo Source in particular was a really big help with that. David helped out a lot with, you know, just kind of some of the more graphical stuff, and I asked him for a lot of advice. He test screened a couple scenes for me and gave me advice, and so that was super helpful. But Camo Source more recently, he was you know, kind of talking to me, and we were talking about, you know, trying out a different editing method, because the way I was doing it was adding a lot of detail, but it wasn't quite as time efficient, and so I took on a new method, and I'm getting a lot more done a lot quicker now. So that should be Very good. First new King of the Monsters TV spot. Now this. I'm so spoiled. Yeah, that King of the Monsters TV spot was pretty sick, huh? Well, wouldn't it be like a social media spot? Because I think it was like posted on social medias. I don't know if it was on TV. It might have been on TV. I feel like hyping the show too early was why it was taking so long. I don't know about that. I think it was. I don't think hyping the show too early is why it's taking too long. I think that I hyped the show up to try to get people obviously excited for it, but I was doing it leading up to a date that was planned for it to release originally, but like we're actually losing people now, so I'm going to get into this now. So if you guys don't know what happened, basically ever since I first announced Mesozoic, I said that it was going to release fall of 2018, and eventually that was scooted down into later fall and then to December, but I tried to keep to that. But here's the issue. All of Mesozoic's filming was supposed to get done within the 3-month period during the summer. And basically, when we went out and tried to do this, there was a lot of issues. There was a lot of places that we were trying to film at that didn't work out because the national parks had closed down a couple areas, and some areas just didn't work out. And so we couldn't find anywhere to film, and the whole summer got ruined. And then it didn't help that we had some personal family issues towards the end of the summer, and those personal family issues, scooted back filming even further. And so it wasn't until, I would say, probably like, I don't know if it would be late summer or early fall, but it was in that area, we finally got around to doing our first survey scouting mission at this one new spot that we wanted to try, and we loved it. We loved the spot. We found a ton of stuff to do there, and so we explored it. And then we ended up going to a separate spot, which was nearby, but because that other one had some great stuff, mostly for B-roll, but we needed some more stuff for low ground environments. We went and scouted out this other one. It was everything we needed. So by then we had everything. And so for all of the fall, we filmed everything. Basically, everything was pushed off by 3 months. And I thought that I could go Superman on this because I made a promise that it was going to be out by fall, and I thought that I could edit everything within just those couple months, and I couldn't. I couldn't edit 15 episodes of the show within a couple months. I don't know why I thought I could. I don't know why I thought I could get enough done to get the ball rolling. But as soon as I actually, had enough time to start editing the prologue episode, I realized I screwed myself. Because I kept telling people that, yes, I can do it in 2018. Yes, I'm going to get it by December. And then things kept hitting. Roadblocks hit in the way, which were even more frustrating. But everything just got in my way. And then it took a lot longer, and I made a false promise to myself. I made a false promise to everybody else. I was thinking illogically and unreasonably in my time frame of working on Mesozoic, and that's why it got delayed so much. And then as soon as I realized that, I'm like, okay, I need to stop. I can't do this again. I can't tell people, yeah, it's going to be, here. So that's why I told everybody, okay, I'm getting the prologue episode out so you guys can see that, and then I'm going to work on the rest of the stuff, but I'm not going to say when it's released yet because I want to finish enough of it that it's ready for you guys to watch, and so you guys don't have to, wait a whole bunch anymore. But then everything was... I've been having so much trouble because I've been editing for so long. I had all this stuff going on in my head where I was just losing motivation. I was like, everybody, hates me. They think that that this show is going to suck. The hype is dying down. I lied to everybody. I lied to myself. And I had to really calm myself down and realize, that everybody makes mistakes and that I was pushing too hard. I was trying to do things that I couldn't do by myself. And I had to calm myself down. I had a lot of very emotional nights, and some days where I had broken down so bad I couldn't do any work on Mesozoic. And so the last, I'd say, like a week ago, was the end of like a 2-week period where I was getting very minimal done because I was struggling so much. And this is a really pivotal time in the editing process where I had a lot of talks with my friends, with my family, and they really helped me out and stuff. And that's why I think I'm coming to the decision where I want to release Mesozoic episode 1 alone and early on itself. or by itself, so you guys can see what I have been working on, so you guys can see that this is still happening. You guys can get something, and you guys don't feel like, you know, you've been waiting forever for nothing. I just want to get it out there, and once I see that, you know, and I show everybody, you know, I'm not making this up. I'm not just sitting here blindly doing nothing, and I think that'd help out a lot of just pretty much everything. And maybe even with that, I get a really nice surge of just editor's juice, and I can just get going even faster. And I can get the rest of the stuff done that needs to be done. And yeah, so I'm trying my best, but I'm not trying to make excuses. These are just the reasons why certain things happened. I realized that I was being way too pretentious. I was thinking that certain things could be done way faster than they actually could. And this is my first go at this series, like a series like this, of any production of this scale. And I really wanted it to be at its best, but I have learned a really hard lesson. And I think that I'm still going to get Mesozoic Season 1 done. And once I do, I think that Season 2 is going to be way better. I've learned a lot from this experience, and I really need to. I really have a lot to note down, and to just, I guess, take away from this experience, and mainly with the pre-production. I think that I announced the show a little too early. Well, announcing is something else, but maybe starting the hype train too early for how much I actually was able to get done. So I know a lot more now. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into some of your guys' questions inside the comment section here. I'm going to try to skim through and see what here. Okay, so I'm going to try to get through the bigger messages first, so that people that put more work into their questions will get those answered. How much faster is production of editing than before? I'd say 2.5 times the speed of before. Because here's the big thing that was happening that was slowing me down, is I was adding so much sound design in, that a lot of it was like so subtle, that you couldn't actually really hear it when you watched it the first time. You had to watch it a second time and really pay attention to notice it. And I realized inside of big movie productions, a lot of times, even in some monster movies with big monsters, you don't even hear their footsteps sometimes. If the focus is on the animal's head or the monster's head and what it's doing, or like it's Godzilla shooting a breath, then it doesn't do the walking sound effects because it's not in focus, it's not important. And so I really, what I did with my editing and my sound design in particular, that was the biggest one that was slowing me down in sound design, was that I focused in on what is the camera focusing on, what is the focus of this moment, what does the audience need to hear, and only make the immersion, only work on the immersion where it's needed to be, and focus out everything else on the side. And it actually helps, you as an audience member focus on what you need to focus on. And because of that, I dramatically reduced the amount of sound that I was putting in. I dramatically reduced how much time I was spending on trying to get things sounding perfect. And it's a lot easier to see the need for those extra sound effects if you're sitting there editing them for long periods of time. But when you actually just sit down and watch through it, you're like, yeah, that was just pointless. I mean, all those bush rustling sounds that match up perfectly with how when the figure hits the bush is just pointless if it's not even something that the audience is going to be focusing on in the shot. So that's what I've been doing in terms of speeding up the production. Barnacle Source is actually here early. I just wanted to talk about J2 about this. Hyping it up wasn't the problem, but you barely gave yourself time. That's it. My opinion is that way you should have announced a release date until after the filming is done. I agree. I tried to stick to my release date that I announced way too early. I announced the release date too early. You're absolutely correct. I legit had a dream about Mesozoic being released. All of the big Dino Troopers were watching the premiere together, and then we all talked about to you about it. You people are even in my subconscious. Wow, that's actually a really interesting dream. I guess I'm flattered that you dreamed about Mesozoic. That's pretty cool. Like I say, if Kiki wasn't really passionate about this show, it'd be out already, and it'd be not great. That is true. He is taking his time, people. He is good. Okay, sorry, the chat's moving on me here. Where? Oh crap, I lost it. He is trying to make it good. Yes, I am. I actually like the fact that it didn't get released so early because it feels like an actual documentary where it doesn't get released right away. Sorry if I misspelled anything. No biggie. I'm glad that you're finding a positive out of all this this experience here. When things are taking so long to release, the magical release date seems like it'll never happen, and then that magical day happens. It's euphoria. Just saying, morning. Kiki reads 3 comments from the chat and then talks for 11 minutes. Yeah, I'm trying to explain certain things that I feel like need to be put across. I'm giving those more time. I'm trying to catch up now. I'm skimming through. If you have a really important question you want me to get to, please tag me. Tag at KikiZilla101, but don't spam it. Don't spam it for every question. Just if it's something really important that I missed or something, if I missed it once, then please tag me. Yeah, footsteps are honestly distracting if overdone. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, over editing is becoming an issue with me as well. It really does suck up your time if you put too much time into it. What character storyline is the most shocking, and what do you think separates your editing from others? That's a good question. Okay, so you asked it a second time there. Okay, so I'll let me get to some of the quicker questions first before I get to that, so people don't feel like I'm taking 11 minutes to answer your question. So when are you releasing episode 1 to non-patrons? I don't know if I can finish. I'm pretty sure I can finish the Mandy's stuff really soon here. So maybe we could shoot for, I was planning on releasing Mesozoic episodes on Fridays, so maybe this Friday. Maybe we could shoot for this Friday. Let's try that. No promises, but I'm going to try to shoot for Friday. I think that's a realistic date. I could get that out for you guys. Maybe a little bit later if it does take Mandy longer to record all of her voice lines. But that's all Mesozoic episode 1 needs. I've been working on the other ones, but episode 1 is like all of it's done except her voice lines. Oh, and I do need to finish up some of the narration. I do need to rewrite some of that stuff. I realized because some of the early narration I wrote before I actually edited that part, and that's when I stopped writing the narration before I edited it. So I have to change that, and I have to go back and redo some of that to sync up with what it actually is at the beginning of the show now. And also the end of the episode just needs some narration finished, and then she just needs to record it, and then we're all good. Kiki, take your time with this. You're not, you are working your buns off, so take your own speed. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're being supportive, and it really means the world to me, guys. It really does. I mean, it's been really hard. I honestly, this is the first time I was nervous coming onto a stream. I don't know if anybody could tell at the beginning, but, yeah, I was kind of nervous. I've been putting off Mesozoic live streams just because I didn't want to talk about it because I felt ashamed. But I'm really happy with the reception you guys are giving me here. I don't see the purpose of this explanation since fans are still be like, where's the show? Did you give up on it, Kiki? Well, if I can explain my reasoning to at least some people, then I'm happy. Okay. Let me get up to... I believe that the problem wasn't you trying to be consistent. It was unfortunate because you tried to go all Superman. Yeah, exactly. What figure do you have great plans for? Your series excites me so much. Thank you. I'm really excited about it too. What figure do I have great plans for? Well, I that I can say, I will say that you can really look forward to Blue, the Carnegie Giganotosaurus, and the Papo Green Standing Rex, which that character's name is Rex. Also, Spike has a pretty good part in the story too. So those 3 guys are ones that are pretty exciting. Those ones are really exciting. So DI quality now. Well, yeah. Oh, you mean like season 5 quality? Yeah, I would say it's like season 5 quality. I think that I put in still a little bit more sound effects than Gibson does. Not saying that Gibson doesn't do enough. I just I think I have a larger library, I guess, of stuff that I do. But we'll leave that up for you guys to judge. So what character storyline is the most shocking, and what do you think separates your editing from others? I'll get to J212's question now. What do I think that my editing separates me from others? Well, before I paid too much attention, let me think here. I think that I think that can basically sum up my editing style, my heart. If I could always try to get more specific, but I think the best way to describe it is that I pay a lot of attention. I try to be very artistic. I try to put a lot of thought into the characters, even when I'm editing. I'm not acting. I did this when I was puppeting, but when I'm editing, I put a lot of thought into the character's perspective and different ways, and the audience, the way I want them to interpret things. And at one point, I was putting too much thought into it, which was a problem. I have to find that happy balance, but that's the big thing I would say. And I'm not saying that no one else is doing a good job. I'm not saying that at all. I just think that something that's very unique about my editing style is that I pay a lot of attention to very small things. Things that I see as important and things that people can pick up on that are not necessarily there. I would honestly be shocked. I would be flabbergastedly shocked if by the end of the whole season 1 of Mesozoic Isle, there's even one finger slip up in the whole thing, because like no little detail slips past me. I mean, I'm really good at it. So I pay a lot of attention to pretty much everything. That's one thing I would say. And most shocking character storyline. I don't. If I say something like that, then I'm going to end up spoiling stuff. But I think one that will surprise a lot of people is just how important Blueberry is to the story. She has an extremely important role and a very important moment. I mean, she is an extraordinarily important moment. If you guys don't know who Blueberry is, she's a baby Triceratops. This little character has an immensely big role in the story. So there you go. That's something I can tease you with. Okay. What did you use for fake blood? Ketchup? No, I used oh, I threw it away. I used grape jam. That was a recommendation given to me by yours truly, Bioniclesaurus down there. Oh, yours truly is usually when you're referring to yourself, so ignore that. To your Bioniclesaurus in the comment section there, he's the one who told me to use grape jam, and it works fantastically. I love it. And grape jam, yes, it looks purple, but when you actually put it through the light and it's thinner, it's more of a red color. It looks really good. I like it. Will there be a Triceratops character, and which one? There is 2 important Triceratops characters. There's a whole herd of 17 Triceratops and 1 Torosaurus inside of season 1. So there's a herd that's in the story, and we mostly follow Spike, who is this Papo Triceratops. He's one of our main characters and a very important character to the plot. So we follow him, and we follow Blueberry. Those 2 are very important characters, and really the only ones that have a more well thought out storyline. The other characters are kind of, more just background Triceratops. They just kind of take more of a part of the herd. Like, they're just kind of like there as a part of it. The other characters have more of a story. Who is your favorite character in MI? Kate the Carcharodontosaurus. I will show you right here. I love Kate so much. There's so much personality, so much motivation and character to this this character that I've written. She's by far my favorite character in the show, easily. Now, she also has a background story, which is like, if you heard the background story to Kate, you could understand why I love her so much. Both Caesar and Spino Dude reviews, or ArtsyDilo and Spino Dude reviews, when I told them the backstory of Kate, both of them had basically the exact same response. They're like, I see why you like Kate now. And they both really like her after I told them the background story. And I do have an intention to release that as like a external media for her background story. But in terms of the context of Mesozoic Isle Season 1, her background story will... downstairs. Okay. Her background story will never be explained within the context of the show, because it's not really important. It doesn't really help with what I'm trying to achieve inside the context of the story. The context of the story, I don't really want people to sympathize with her and understand her motivation, because I want people to see her as a villain. But if you do see her background story, you do understand what's going on there, which I think makes her an extremely interesting character. By far my favorite. I am pretty minimal with sound effects. I'm looking forward to actually rebuilding my whole library, though, since it died with my laptop. That sounds like fun, my dude. I have a huge library of dino sounds. Yeah, I do too. There's never too many, in my opinion. Ambition, the worst thing. It causes turmoil, giving false sense of security, making everything seem great, but it isn't. Take your time. I know you do great, and we can wait. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Smurfy Mixels. That means a lot. There were 2 finger slips in season 4, none so far in season 5. Nice, dude, nice. Always pay attention to the edges of the screen there, and flick those little fingers off the screen. No, don't let them in there. Grape Jam for the win. Blueberry kills Blue when he trips over. Oh my gosh. I think, was it? Yeah, I think it was Spider Dude who said that to me. I don't think it was in a stream, but I think Spider Dude said that to me recently, that he thinks that Blueberry is going to trip Blue and kill her. I'm like, I would kill Blueberry. Like that, Jesus Christ. I think that's really funny, though. I have a character based off Blueberry named Grape. Oh, that's cool. I think that's really awesome that you're inspired by that character. That's really awesome. I hope you really like her when you see her in the show. I really like her character. Good gravy. I need the Papo trike. I don't know why I still don't have one. Such a beaut. Yeah, it's really good. It's a good figure. It's a good trike figure. Any raptors? I like them because they're dinosaur ninjas. There are going to be a couple Utah Raptor characters inside of Season 1, but they're not really going to be that present. The most you'll see the Raptors is, or Utah Raptors, is probably the same amount of time you see the Raptor character inside of the prologue episode. Not too much more. In Season 2, though, I have an entire storyline dedicated to Utah Raptors. The Utah Raptors just... They're not really native anywhere near this area that the story takes place on the island, and it's just the story doesn't include any of them. Do you have any sites besides YouTube for sound effects? No, I use YouTube for the most part. I do have a sound designer, sound design helpers. I have Star Wars Jabaro, and he had a contact as well that helped me out. I credited him in the credits. I think it was like the Dark 85 or something like that. Those 2 guys helped audio rip sound effects out of dinosaur documentaries that I could use for my stuff. And so they helped me out with that. And so I credit them inside there. But that's like the only other place that I got sound effects for. Well, never mind. Star Wars Jabaro took like all the audio out of... he separated the audio file lengths on When Dinosaurs Roamed America. I was the one who was cutting out the sound effects and actually applying them into Mesozoic, which took forever. That I haven't even done the Jurassic or Cretaceous segments yet. I need to do that. I've only done Triassic so far. I used red Expo marker for blood because it's not sticky and it's permanent. That's not a bad idea. I don't really like using anything that comes out of markers because usually it stains the figures. All right, I'm going to skip ahead. If I missed any of your questions, please repeat them. Oh, wait, here. I noticed we don't think about Dimetrodon and Draco that much. I don't think you mean don't talk about Dimetrodon. The Dimetrodon Speartooth, I really like her character. I think she's pretty cool. I think people will like her. I mean, she's not, she's obviously not the most exciting character. Most people don't seem that interested in her. Draco is really cool, too. He's the newest character to Mesozoic Season 1. Actually, probably like the only new named character since I rewrote the script, I think. No, there's a couple more, but he was the most recent. He's the repainted Guanlong from Spiner Dude Reviews, and I just needed he wanted to give me some of his old Safari figures he didn't want anymore. He was offering that, and so I took him up on it, and I also had him repaint, or he repainted. I don't remember exactly the order. Anyways, he repainted the Guanlong, and I told him, hey, I'd love to use this in Mesozoic, and I need a name for it because this would work perfectly for this thing, blah, blah, blah. I kind of briefly explained it to him, and I said, hey, why don't you name it? So he named it Draco, and I took the name and put it into the show. So the name belongs to Spiner Dude. He was the one that I will credit for the naming of that guy. I think I've already mentioned this, but in episode 5 is going to feature vomit and bile, mostly body fluids, in a Dino Tube video record. That's interesting. Okay then. I'm not sure why there was a question mark at the end of that. I'm trying to figure that out, but that's interesting. Lots of projectiles. Watching on my TV, so my mom will be rocking. More vomit than that poisoned coffee scene and the Hateful Eight. Eesh. I don't know. I haven't seen it. It's on Netflix. Barnacle cries. No joke. Silas died. The other dinosaur island. I'm going to get off soon. I'm going to film my review. You do that. I was wondering if it was the record for most bodily fluids. Oh, like, is that a record for the most bodily fluids inside of a Dino Tube thing? That's a good question. I don't know. Probably. I don't use any, I don't think I do anything with vomit, or any other bodily fluids in that, but yeah. Do you do some storyboarding for each shot, or is it mostly improvised? It was mostly improvised. I had most of it up in my head, but for season 2, I am doing concept art for a certain key scene, so kind of like a loose storyboarding. I don't really like doing storyboarding for Mesozoic Isle too much because the location where I film it might change a lot, and then that I kind of have to improvise some of that on the spot. And also just takes a lot of work. I'm not a very good artist. But I do have Cesar, a.k.a. ArtsyDilo. I'm going to have him doing concept art for Season 2 of Mesozoic Isle. I am actually taking him on to Season 2 and 3. If you guys didn't know that, he's going to be helping me write Season 2 and 3 of Mesozoic Isle, coming up with ideas and stuff. The only things I haven't told him about Season 2 and 3 so far that are planned, he knows everything except about the character storylines that continue from Season 1, because I don't want it to spoil Season 1 for him, so he's going to watch Season 1 not knowing anything, and then those character storylines that cross over into Season 2 and 3, from 2 and 3, those ones will be told to him after Season 1's over. For this Halloween, why not change the channel name to Kiki Zombie 101? Maybe on Discord, but I don't change the channel name. I don't want to mess around with that. But yeah. Will MIB this year at least? Yes, it will be. Of course it will. Is there an episode that might fail? Is there an episode that might fail? If you mean by fail, like become unpopular, I don't know. I'm pretty confident in all of them. Probably the one I'm the least confident in is episode 1, just because there's some shots in there that I'm just really not proud of because of some of the first footage I filmed. That's really it, though. I can't think of anything else. I mean, yeah. I can't think of anything else, to be honest. That's why when I storyboard, I mostly leave the backgrounds blank, just if I have to change the location, but I do also sometimes put the backgrounds for locations I know the scene will take place in. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm just not really that great of an artist, and it just takes a lot of time. I just find it kind of unnecessary to storyboard, for me at least. He says then MI takes till 2021. Oh, yeah, no. That's not happening. That's when I'd probably hopefully be wrapping up production on Season 2. So I should have you edit my vids, because even though I'm working on it, I suck with those little shots of hand. I think I don't know what you mean there. Offhand. I don't know what you mean of the hand part. Editing isn't all of it. You filming, recording at the correct angles. That's my main issue with episode 1. I know Gibson is gonna get on me because he was complimenting me on some of the shots I shot upwards, and most of episode 1 is shot kind of poorly, and a lot of the shots are shot down. I'm not a huge fan of it. I didn't do some great angles with some of the shots inside of episode 1. I mean, episode 1's still good as a whole. I'm happy with it, but I'm disappointed in some of my filming skills in episode 1. but that dramatically improves over the next episodes. Episode 2 has some shots that really annoy me too. Yeah, that you're gonna like some of the shots I did inside of episode 1, Gibson. They definitely follow your rule. Have you started filming for that Tyranna storyline in season 2? Nope. I was going to film it this year, but that's before I decided, nope, I'm not gonna push out Mesozoic episode or season 2 a year after season 1. It's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna take 2 years to make season 2. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to finish up pre-production. I want to finish up pre-production this year, all the script writing and stuff. By the end of this year, I want to try to get all the pre-production done and all the script writing and stuff. And then I can start filming like some of the winter stuff, maybe early 2020 inside the winter up in the mountains. Maybe I can film some of the winter stuff up there. And then just slowly start filming throughout that year. And then once I'm done filming, I can start editing. And once I'm almost done editing, I can start releasing trailers and stuff like that. It was Paul Carter. Well, your rule that you passed on to me. Credit goes to Paul Carter, but you're the one who helped me. What's next for you to post? Will we see Hidden Valley in season 2? Absolutely, yeah. Some of the characters that we follow on from season 1 stay in Hidden Valley. So yeah, you will get to see Hidden Valley again. Actually, and originally inside the script, I realized that Hidden Valley was never returned to in season 2 or 3 in the original plans for season 2 and 3. But I realized a lot of the same characters were shown there, and I just kind of never wrote it down. And so I'm like, well, obviously this has to take place in Hidden Valley. So I kind of rewrote some of that stuff. And now, yeah, we will be returning to Hidden Valley in both season 2 and 3. So yeah, we do get to see a lineage of through all 3 seasons. We do get to see Hidden Valley through all of it. Although season 2 opens our eyes up to the entire island. I think there's only one region on the entire island that we don't explore, which would be Northwoods, which is where Albertosaurus and Pachyrhinosaurus live. I did have an idea for a storyline there. I just don't think that there's enough room for it in season 2, but we might explore there in season 3. We'll see, though. Haveth you yet hotteth method? I'm not sure what you mean there. My Tyranna story in Starfari Yixan is rather simple, to be honest. My Tyranna storyline in season 2 is not overly complex. It's a rather simple story, but I think I do it well. You can sell a simple story. It doesn't necessarily have to be complex. It just needs to be well done. Will the Safari Aloe appear at all in season 1? No. It's not going to be in season 1. I do have plans for an entire Allosaurus pack storyline in season 2, though. So that one will be making an appearance in season 2. As well as a couple of Kayakasaurus as Allosaurus figures. I'm going to be using I'm going to repaint a couple of the Safari ones, using them as male Allosaurus, and the females will be the Kayakasaurus ones. And by meaning I will repaint, I mean I'm going to have my repainters either Kayakasaurus, ArtsyDilo, or Spinodude. Probably Spinodude for the most part. So when do you think the first episode will be released? Well, probably very soon. I'm trying to shoot for Friday this week. No promises. Don't quote me on that. But I'm gonna try to do it because I think that it's definitely doable. I just have to get Mandy's narration done. So a lot of it depends on that. Kiki, have you checked out the website for my series lately? I've updated the map. Sorry, dude, I haven't had enough time to check out your website. I haven't even had enough time to work on my own website for 3 weeks now. So, yeah, I haven't had the time. Sorry, man. Yeah, Aiden, go back in time. God, I didn't go back time and use the Safari Aloe. No, I don't need the Safari Aloe. I mean, I probably, if I rewrote it or if I kept it the rewrites and didn't turn Allie into a mutant Allosaurus, then if I went way back, then I could use that figure as Allie instead of the Papo one. But yeah. FYI, Gibson, I loved your birthday thing. I know, that was the best, wasn't it? That was the funniest. Kiki, have you checked out? I already read that. Have you ever seen Kingdom of the Dinosaurs by GJB 2003? Says moist every 2 seconds. I have not seen that one. No, I have seen some of the stuff. I think he posted. He might have put some of it in. I don't know. Did he put some in Dino Nation? I'm not sure. I think he was on Dino Nation for a bit, and I think he posted it on there. I don't remember. I do remember seeing some of it, like on YouTube. I just never have watched it yet. Well, the Safari Trike appeared. The Safari Triceratops will appear in Mesozoic Isle, but in season 3. Though that's the most accurate Triceratops figure I have, and so that's going to be depicting the most up-to-date Triceratops, which will appear inside of the 3rd season. The 2nd season still has some out-of-date Triceratops that we'll be seeing before we actually get around to the fully accurate ones. Will there be a side story about how the more accurate ones take over the older, less accurate ones? Because I'd imagine some less accurate versions would be stronger than the accurate ones like Raptors. For instance, yeah, that's a good question. For instance, with Spinosaurus, they actually did have an attempt where they tried to incorporate quadrupedal Spinosaurus onto the island, but they failed miserably because the quadrupedal Spinosaurus were so inefficient at moving around and feeding that they were just outcompeted by the bipedal ones. And so, yeah, that's just how that happened. And that was back when I actually believed the quadrupedal thing was there. And I was going to create a storyline where they had to make multiple iterations and figure out a new niche for those in order to get them on the island, or just completely avoid it altogether because it was like no quadrupedal Spinosaurus things. But that ended up working out because it turns out the quadrupedal Spinosaurus theory is, not true. So there's no quadrupedal Spinosaurus on Mesozoic Isle because that's one example of the inaccurate ones being more efficient than the accurate ones were. How do you make the dinosaurs eating look realistic since they can't move their mouths? Well, some with Papo figures, you can actually move their mouths and, get them to look like they're eating. I just kind of really move the figure in a way that just kind of feels natural and just try to sell it. And just try to not think too much about the mouth. And also your angles really help a lot too. If you don't show too much about the mouth not moving, then sometimes that helps out a lot as well. So yeah. Will the new Giga figure you got be in this season or any other season? And if so, can you make it Blue's mate? It has the colors for it to be a female. Are you talking about the Eophonic Giga? The Eophonic Giga, I love that Giga a lot. So yes, it will be appearing in Mesozoic Isle at some point. I'm not sure when, either season 2 or season 3. But we'll see what comes around. I don't have an idea of what I'm doing with the Giga yet. I just know that I want to use it because I love it. I already do know what I'm going to do with the Safari Giganotosaurus, the Giga Zebra one. So I'm going to be using that one. I already know what I'm going to be using that one for. And obviously Blue's storyline is already written. So there you go. So they just need to make the no-legged Spinosaurus. There's no competition. Yeah, that's exactly what needs to happen. How many seasons are you planning to do? 3 and 3 only. This is not an occasion where I'm going to sit there and I'm not trying to roast anybody like Binoculsaurus. People are probably going to take that the wrong way. This is not like, a show where you see on they can just keep going, or you rewrite something, or you add another season. Mesozoic Isle from the very beginning has been written as a 3-part story. I planned 3-part. Well, at the very, very beginning, I just knew I wanted to do 3. But as I wrote it over time, it's cemented as a 3-part story. If I ever added more to it, it would just be unwelcome, unnecessary. And I don't really see. Maybe one day I could figure out something. But I would never want to return to the format of a season, I don't think. So, therefore, I would only see if I ever continue anything, it's going to be through short films, focusing more on one in particular character, which I do plan on doing. I do plan on making short films after the 3 seasons of Mesozoic Isle, focusing on certain characters that do survive the events or whatnot, and we can follow their story further. But in terms of like seasons, there's 3 and that's it. There's season 1, there's season 2, and there's season 3, and that's a 3-part story with an ending, which is a little hard to the ending makes it pretty hard to continue the season, the seasonal story. It has a way that it's going, and it's kind of hard to make a story that kind of continues off of that. I don't like the idea of that. And that's not a roast of Binocusaurus. Binocusaurus just said he wanted to stop, and he wanted to do something different, but he eventually came up with new ideas and did it. He never wrote it as just like that was supposed to be just it, right? Like, I don't think he wrote it from the beginning and like said like that's going to be it and I can't do anything else. That's a very different thing. I'm talking about just like, you know, any show in general. A lot of them overstay their welcome. The popular ones overstay their welcome, and then they just get ridiculous because, you know, you can't write any more stories for that. So Mesozoic Isle is going to get 3 seasons. That's it. Never going to add any more seasons to that. I have Mesozoic Seas, the film that I'm going to make after Mesozoic Isle. And then I have Cenozoic Isle, which is going to be a show. And then there's going to be Paleozoic Isle, which will be a show. And maybe there could be room for a second season of Cenozoic Isle, maybe. But as I've actually been writing some of the stuff for Cenozoic Isle, just getting some stuff down. And I don't think that that's going to happen. Maybe it could, but I don't think it will. But I would like to transition over into more of a film format rather than a show format after all that stuff. So like I said, if I do continue any story elements off of Mesozoic Isle's 3 seasons, it will be in like a film format and not a show format. So no more seasons after season 3. Here's the map. It's pretty complex with many rivers and such. Here, I'll take a quick look. That looks nice. I like it. The only thing I would say is that the rivers don't really look natural per se. They look a little smooth. They don't look very jittery, like an actual river. I looked at actual map references of rivers to see what, you know, like kind of patterns you can know in them, and this doesn't look completely natural. But also, it's kind of more like a grid map you have going on. Rivers kind of more. You should really look at where your mountains are and have rivers kind of coming down from the mountains and heading down into the lower parts of the island. If there's a big bowl shape, then it should settle inside of a lake. And if it can run down into the ocean, then have it run down into the ocean. You should really, what I would recommend is kind of visualize points of where you think the water sources would collect, and then see where you think that the water would end up. I wouldn't just, you know, randomly make kind of like a grid map, which you seem to have done here. It still looks really good. I would just say that if I were to improve it, I would try to think more consciously about where the water would actually go, rather than just making dividers like that. How exactly are you going to do aquatic vids? Green screen? No, I actually intend on getting a waterproof camera and filming underneath the water. And I plan to go out to Florida. There's a spot I know where I can film in Florida, and I want to film there. The only thing I have to figure out still is how to shoot big swarms of fish that are inside the water. How do I do that? So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I might have to do green screen effects there to get the figure to look like it's going through a swarm of fish through some stock footage or something. But yeah. So if you planned to have a plot line where the older ones were more efficient, then why not do that with the raptors? Because what do you mean? What's your thing? I'm not exactly sure why you have this like assumption that the older raptors would be more efficient than the newer ones. In particular, with Utah raptors, they were very well designed in the fact that they use a lot of times they use these pheromones, which make the newer versions of the raptors more attractive to the older ones, which make them breed, and then their genes mix, and then they update the stuff. But also, they actually did a really good job at making the raptors a lot more efficient in their environment, and also a lot stronger with the newer version. So Utah raptors, they did a really good job on for the most part. A lot of species do have a little bit more struggles than Utah raptors do, but for Utah raptors, they did a pretty good job at making the newer versions overwrite the older ones, or overpower the older ones, and get well established inside the ecosystem. Solution: real fish. No. No Titan. Do the dinos? No, they don't talk. Go watch, if you haven't watched already, Titan of Water. You can watch the 2 trailers that are out, but also there's the prologue episode of Mesozoic Isle that's already out. That one teaches you all the background knowledge you need to know about Mesozoic Isle, and then there's also a little sequence in there that gives you a taste of what the show will be like. So I'd recommend going to watch that. Use venomous sauropods. Hell yes. Use real marine reptiles. Oh, wait. Sorry, it's because I'm new. No biggie, no biggie. I know you're new. That's why I'm saying that there's two trailers out, so you can watch those and get a taste if you're interested. You don't feel pressured at all. And there's also the prologue episode, which you can check that out, which gives you a good taste of what the show is gonna be like. And then very soon we're getting out episode 1, so you can actually see what the show is gonna be like, setting itself up there. Kiki, watch out for that venomous Malawisaurus behind you. Oh no! Oh, you Zeropods. Jeez. Find some green screen fish. I don't know if I'd want to green screen the fish. I think I'd rather green screen the figure over a pod of fish that are, or a school of fish that are like kind of moving around. Maybe like just green screen like a Chronosaurus or a Elasmosaurus over like a dolphin or something that's going through the swarm or something. I think that would probably be easier. I'm not sure. That's something that's going to be very technically challenging. I'll have to figure out. I don't know if I even want to make a DI type show, and it's not for everybody. Not everybody has to make one. I want to do a Giga Zebra joke once I get the Safari Giga for a review, probably the outro. Yeesh. Will we cry in MI? I'm hoping that there's a couple moments that will get you to cry. Yeah. If I get some people to cry, then I'll be really happy because I feel like there's some good emotional moments in it. I'm not expecting everybody to cry. I mean, these are dinosaur toys, and some people are just, made more of steel than other people. So, I don't expect everybody to cry. I don't think everybody will. I really don't think that everybody's going to cry. But I think that some people might. I hope that some people might. If you do, let me know, because that'd make me really happy that I did a good job at selling the emotion of certain scenes. So, yes, I hope that certain scenes do make you cry. It's pretty complex, many rivers and such. That's something I already read. Hey, I didn't technically extend the DI story beyond its original plan because I had no original plan. That's exactly what I said, Gibson. Greetings, comrades. How late am I? Not very. Only 50 minutes. I don't think I've cried once when watching a show. Well, maybe Mesozoic could be the first. I don't know. Kiki, just let you know something about the blood you're using. I looks a little clear. It looks a little clear. And, it's, yet again, the quality of the blood isn't really bugging me. I get it. It could be better, but it doesn't stain my figures, and it looks nice, so I'm good with it. And also, I'm not really, I am trying to do extremely good quality here, but the quality is not the main appeal of Mesozoic. In my opinion, the story is the main reason you should be watching it. So if there are certain quality dips, I don't think that should be the biggest deal, as long as you're still immersed in the story and you enjoy it. He has a knack for it. What? Which time he died? I don't know what you're talking about. Dynaman, are you telling me that you didn't make yourself cry with Peter? Oh, gosh. Peter. Solution. Use real blood or mercury. Yeah, but real blood does stain, and so does mercury. Mercury would destroy the figure, probably. Then watch my series, because we got lots of taco deaths. Taco deaths are the worst. Everybody remember when the olden days of how we used to make these series? We'll use our literal mouths to make the dinosaur noises. Some channels did that, and then we evolved into using sound effects. Yep, basically. I think everybody here remembers that. I have an idea. Just use washable paint. I tried that before. It still actually stained a couple of my figures, and I just didn't like the color. The washable paint was like really pastel-y pink when I found the red, so I'm not bothering with it. I just like... I don't see that. I get it. It's not perfect. I don't know why I keep pointing here. It's not there anymore. I get it. It's not perfect, but I still think it gets the job done, so no biggie. The moose didn't die, dude. Oh my gosh. Yes, I laughed at Peter's pathetic death. I bet you did. You're the evil, sinister man that wrote the story. Ear! Ear! Oh my gosh. Ear! 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 I sniffled when Silas died. Silas had it coming. Oh, which time he died. I get what Camo was talking about now. He was talking about Silas's death. Is the moose still alive on Dinosaur Island? That's a good question. What are you using for blood? I am, like I just said, I'm using grape jam meat, dude. I was meaning the question morally about Velociraptor because not too long ago, most people thought that they were as tall as us because of Jurassic Park. So wouldn't the more accurate ones be outcompeted? Oh, I get what you mean. No, here's the reason. Because Jurassic Park, the paleontologists there weren't confused about what Velociraptor actually looked like. They just took the name off of Velociraptor and put it onto what they were imagining as Deinonychus, even though they did oversize it. And so they consciously knew that Velociraptor was too small. The people that made Mesozoic Isle knew that Velociraptor was small. They never confused that Velociraptor was big. So all of the Velociraptors on the island are all small. The Utah raptors are the ones that are big. There's Utah raptors, there's Deinonychus, there's Dromaeosaurus, there's Osteraptor. There's a bunch of different species of Dromaeosaur that are on the island. But Utah raptor is the only one that's that big. It's a little bit bigger than the one in Jurassic Park. But all the Velociraptors are the same size. They're all around 6 feet long. So yeah, to answer that question, no, they weren't outcompeted. The moose was just severely injured and then mauled by a Spino. Yep. Ear. I've used real blood before. It's my own. It's actually really dangerous because you're losing your own blood. I would imagine. I've been so pleased with my grape jam gore in season 5. There are some shots of the camera carcass. Next episode, it's just getting grosser. That's awesome. That's awesome. There's some great shots I'm proud of inside of Mesozoic Isle with blood too. The only, and DI season 5 has some really great blood effects. The only one that kind of bugged me was the one where the cryo was dragged through that big glob of jam. I think that one could have definitely been done a lot better. But overall, I think you guys did a really great job. Sorry, I was reading Dynamit's comment while I was trying to finish up my stuff. Because the Meso guys are real scientists. Yep, exactly. I don't know what you're talking about, Smurfy. He. Hey, Monaco, what did the dead camera change skins? Yeah, I knew that. I still hate Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park did that. I'm over it at this point. I still think it's stupid, but yeah. Hey, there's soft pads underneath the chair. I never noticed that before. I just added Dakotaraptor, but they're not accurate because they are built off the same base as the island's Deinonychus and Utahraptor. Yummy. Come to think about it, I'm surprised Bloodtooth died in Dinosaur Island, considering Hammer the Invincible fell off a cliff and was bleeding out a lot and didn't die. It's kind of like those rules in like animated films. You can do cartoony things like fall from amazing heights and stuff and not get hurt. As long as it's like more comedic or works out for the plot. You really could sum it up to just plot. But if it's something sharp that stabs you, then yeah, it'll kill you. It was teeth. It was Carcharodontosaurus. The shark teeth. Because it was decomposing, man. I just added. Yeah, it looks different from decomposing. Have you not seen Trey the Explainer? Wait, what are you guys talking about? It's decomposing, man. I hope Tyrannus is in Jurassic World 3. That would be pretty cool. With pronated hand. Oh my gosh. Plot shields. Ha ha ha. Hammer is a god, though. She has a reason. There you go. Wish for the person who inspired Bioniclesaurus to come to DinoTube. He kind of did. Raptor Boy 101. He has a channel. I've subbed to it. Actually, I might have unsubbed because I didn't really like his content. Let me see. No, I did stay subbed. He's called Brandon Turman. I know he has I think he's like a teacher now or something like that. So he has a lot of stuff going on. He doesn't really do the dinosaur stuff anymore, but seems like a cool dude. I would definitely check it out. I think he checked us out and ran for the hills, probably. Winner against the Chungus. Is this series more about entertainment or education? I don't care which one. It's got a combination of both, but I would say it's primarily entertainment. It's a story. The main focus of this is story. It has a story that I want to tell, but it does have an educational part to it, and it does have a message that I do believe in. I like putting messages. This is an art form, and art is an expression of the person of the artist. And I think there's some very important messages and themes that I put into these. And Mesozoic Isle's message won't really be complete complete until the whole 3 seasons are done. But I'm really passionate about the message inside Mesozoic Isle. So yeah. I think he checked us out and then ran for the hills. I already read that. Ha 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 ha. Well, I don't blame him. I don't either. How many animals on MI? On Mesozoic Isle as an island, I think I put some number on the website. I think it was like over 13,000 something. Let me see. I'm gonna check. Prehistoric archipelago website. Let's see. Islands. Yeah, 13. As a preserve for over 13,000 animals from the Mesozoic period, a time in Earth's history that beheld the largest and mightiest animals to ever walk the Earth. And that number is going up. That number is dated from back in like 2013 when the show goes on. So when will the website come out? When it's done. I need to finish it. But I've been working on the actual show. That's priority. Watch Trey the Explainer. He's a really good channel. I've been watching him for years. I love guy. He's great. 13,000? Jesus. Yep. Well, when you really think about it, that's, it's an island, and there's a lot of small animals on it. So it's 35. No problem. Yeah, my guys. Hey, Kiki. Hey, Squadcopter. What's up? Can you give us a link? No, I'm not going to link the website because it's not finished yet. I will release it once it's finished. I turned Safari LTD into a zoo, LOL. Kiki, maybe for your fish, you could use glitter and a water jet. That's actually not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea because that might actually, look like the glittering. That's actually a really good idea. Thank you for that suggestion, Titan of Water. That's a really good idea. I'm gonna take that into consideration. That's a really awesome idea. I haven't understood. Do we specifically follow the animals on Hidden Valley? Yes. The story of season 1 of Mesozoic Isle is just in Hidden Valley, which is the small territory on Mesozoic Isle. It is taking place. Basically, Hidden Valley is completely secluded from the rest of the island because it got a giant barrier of 4 mountains on 75% of its sides. Then it has a giant thick wall of trees, which is like a labyrinth that the few animals that can get through it usually end up getting lost. And so the population in the center of this valley is very isolated and has been very unchanged for a very long time, for many years, at least a decade. And all of a sudden, this one year, a freak storm hits the island and actually washes out a bunch of trees, makes a bunch of new paths in there, and a bunch of animals end up getting more animals start flushing through into the environment, and then they get lost. And now all these new animals are wound up in this one big bowl, and it just starts getting overpopulated, overcrowded, and the story goes from there. And we follow the animals that already were living in Hidden Valley and some of the new animals that enter Hidden Valley and get stuck. So that's our main. The story is about how the animals get affected by the event of this storm, making a huge influx of animals into this one, basically a fishbowl. What are the odds it's not like your friends are with him? You're friends with him or something. Oh my God, Edge. Yeah. Hey, Edge, what's up, my duderino? What's good, my dude? Just get done with the. Oh, this is Sunday. This is not school day. That's the link to the Google Slides for my series. Yeah, we're gonna not do self-promotion inside the chat, my dude. Thank you. Thank you, ArtsyDilo. You're on top of it. Did I miss anything? Can you link your website? I want to check it out. I'm not linking the website. It's gonna be published when it's finished, for everybody to look at. Anyone else hope Jurassic Park 3 is better than the last movie? Oh, yeah, I think everybody does. I mean, even if you liked Fallen Kingdom, I think you still want the third one to be better because then it would just be even better, right? Any recommendations for creating a website? Wix.com. It's a really great creator. It makes it very easy on you. That's what I'd recommend. Hey, Edge. Hey, Dino Man. Anytime on the show will we get off the island? No. Well, besides, just like literally being off of it by like looking at the ocean and stuff. Yeah, at the very beginning of episode 1, we'll be off of the island, then we go onto the island. So there you go. I don't get enough for this. Oh my gosh. Yes, your job is extremely hard. Thank you, Cesar. What do you focus on in your dinosaur fights in MI? Gore, emotion, suspense? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. What do I focus on in my dinosaur fights in MI? All of it. Different fights have different emphases and a combination of them. I think that gore is probably the least used because, you know, I do have a lot of younger kids watching, and also it's just jam. But some of the fights do have some more gore in it. But obviously, I do know that I have a limitation of how realistic my gore can look inside the show. So I didn't try to overly emphasize it. But if it was important to show how much damage something is causing, then I do show it. Emotions, yes. I'm not saying that it's going to make you cry. I'm just saying that hopefully it will emotionally charge you to feel like, oh, crap, I don't want that to happen. Or, uh-oh, that's not good. And so I do want to make emotions come through well for certain characters, and suspense for sure. My favorite fight scene in the whole show, I think, is has a really nice build up to it. I'm really proud of that one. I can't wait for you guys to see that because it's actually my favorite scene in the whole show. I cannot wait for that part. When you guys watch that part, I'm gonna be like crying like a baby, just how excited I am. That scene I am immensely proud of. Immensely proud of. I remember when my sister was reading through the script, she read up to that part and she was like, "Oh my god!" Like she was reacting to it. She wasn't actually like screaming like that, but she was like freaking out. She was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did that!" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, right?" And she really liked that. So it always gets me really excited when I think about that scene. You can see the genuine enthusiasm on my face. Whenever I think about that scene, I just get really happy because I think I did great on it. Will you ever make a series akin to Monster Island Buddies? Kind of. I did Mesozoic Morons. You can check out the playlist on my channel. It's like some jokey stuff. I do have one that I'm intending to release this 4th of July. It was supposed to come out 4th of July last year, but then I had some issues with some voice lines not getting delivered on time. And then by the time that they did get delivered, I was deep into filming Mesozoic Isles. I didn't have enough time to edit in an hour-long film. So that one should hopefully be coming out this year. If not, then it will come out a little bit later. The only reason if it might get delayed this year is that if Mesozoic Isle is still running by then, like the last of the episodes are running by then I would focus on Mesozoic Isle. And also I am going to go out and visit Cesar, my best friend ArtsyDilo in here. There he is. I'm going to go visit him, so I'll be gone on vacations. That'll kind of set me back on some stuff. So if that puts too much of a delay to the editing process of that, then it might be a little bit later than 4th of July. But I do plan on getting it out this year. So we see see a company that wants to take the dinosaurs. No. Well, I'm sure that there's going to be companies that do want to take the dinosaurs away from the prehistoric archipelago, but they're not getting past the military or anything like that. And you're not going to see any humans inside of Mesozoic Isle to show. That's just not what the show is about. But they are there. There's a lot of lore stuff to dig into. There's a lot of little hints and snippets that you can dig into in the show that kind of reveal a deeper backstory that will actually be revealed throughout the entire course of the prehistoric archipelago story, not just Mesozoic Isle. But yeah, there is some more there for you guys to dig through, and the website will help reveal some more of that as well. The dinosaurs protected by the organization who made them? Yes. Spring break is awesome, except for my history teacher giving us 50-ton project over the break. That's always fun, right? Any specific things to do on a DI series website? I think that you just really have to focus in on what your audience is most interested in, and try to provide that extra information. I think that a lot of people, for Mesozoic Island in particular, since there's such a deep lore behind it and a lot of science explanation behind it, I think a lot of people are going to be really interested in that. So I did a heavy emphasis on the science and lore behind Mesozoic Isle on the website. There's also a lot of character pages and stuff like that, which I think people will also find very interesting for those people that are just more invested in the actual story. Which weekend can we meet at the Museum of Nature and Science? That's a good question. I hope really soon. We have to just keep, we should talk more often on Discord and get it going, because I do want to go out there relatively soon at some point. But also, it's probably not going to be this month now, though, because I'm going to be going to a ski vacation where we're going to go in a cabin. So that's going to be, relatively soon. And yeah, so there's going to be some stuff that is going to get in my way for this month and probably the beginning of next month. But maybe April sometime. Blue should do the shaky leg. Well, I have a date later, so screw you guys and your little museum field trips. That's awesome. Nice, dude. You have a date? That's awesome. And I'm back. Sorry, I had some copper lights to make. That's fun. Okay, no. Just tell me more about it later on a different time, Gibson. Gotta go by. See ya. Which weekend can I mean at the I already read that. And you put meat as in like edible meat. Gotta go finish playing Fortnite. Alrighty, see ya. Dinosaurs protected by the organizations. Also, my Cretaceous arc, I am very happy with. It touches divorce. Oh, that's interesting. Ceratosaurus arc. That's an interesting topic to put in. I'm interested to see what is this? Oh, it's Bionosaurus supposed to be something. Deinonation. Man, Kiki, you seem excited. I am really excited about that scene. That scene makes me hyped. That scene makes me so pumped. Shite, I gotta upload the winter review. You do that, me boy. You gotta tell me more about this date, Gibson. We need to get into a video call. We haven't video called in a while. Are you able to video call like not today? Maybe tomorrow? Something like that. If you're not at school tomorrow. I don't know, maybe later tonight. Maybe I'd have time. I'm probably gonna be recording lines with Mandy though. Kiki, I require classes and dinosaur murder scenes. Okay. So you're writing scars right now? Is that what you're doing? I assume my archipelago, they're just a bunch of islands. So once the island, maybe back in the day, it was all just one big island, correct or no? No, it's more of like a string of islands. They weren't really one as. It's kind of like the Hawaiian Islands, how they're all like a string of islands made by the same, I guess lava field, whatever you want to call it. I forget what it's called. It's hotspot. So they're all made by the same source, but they or multiple sources, and they're just islands inside of a group. That's what the prehistoric archipelago is. It's just islands that this company or these multitude of companies and organizations took over and terraformed and situated so they could perform their experiments on there. So how do you plan to have T-Rexes be like in the show, scaly or feathered? Both. The more outdated ones will be the scaled ones, and then the more recent ones will be the feathered ones. If you don't know what I'm talking about, these dinosaurs are made by people, and so the older dinosaurs, the ones that were made on here first, they're outdated because they were made at a time where they didn't really know what they looked like, and so the dinosaurs get more accurate over time because they're made by humans. So if you don't know much about that, then I'd recommend watching the prologue episode. I think that explains it a bit. I will in the meanwhile until I do that review. Alrighty. Sure, man. I've got nothing going on tomorrow. Okay, cool. So how do you plan to have T-Rexes be like in a show? What's your least favorite Jurassic Park moment? You just mean the whole franchise? I don't know. That's pretty hard. I can't think of it. There's a lot of stuff in Fallen Kingdom I really didn't like. Yeah, I don't know. There's too much to choose from. I'm pretty sure T-Rex was scaly from Saurian's new study. Well, yet again, at a point we did believe that T-Rex was, there was a belief that T-Rex was feathered. And also, the more recent evidence of T-Rex does not prove that T-Rex was not feathered. It proves that it was mostly scaled. So there could have been still some feathers on the top of it. I'm not saying that there was. At this point, it's most likely that it was completely scaly, but there is likelihood that it had feathers on it. You have any Godzilla Bandai vinyls? I have King Caesar, Mechagodzilla 74, and 01 Ghidorah. Typing this again because I will not be ignored. Viva la Resistance. Sorry, dude, if I missed your comment. I do have a bunch. Too many. Yeah, I'll just kind of tilt it over there. You can see it. That's all my my vinyl stuff. I'm jealous that you have the 01 Ghidorah, though. I'm just saying there's no evidence that it did have feathers yet, but for a while there, we were in the belief that T-Rex likely had feathers because of things like Tyrannus and stuff. So there are versions of the Tyrannosauruses on Mesozoic Isle that do have feathers on them. Probably the most recent ones, like the more recent ones that like currently, like this show actually takes place back in 2013. These events took place a long time ago on Mesozoic Isle. Right now on Mesozoic Isle, they'd probably be just introducing some new non-feathered Tyrannosaurus Rexes to go back on the older ones that do have feathers. And the even older ones that just have the wrong body shapes and stuff like that, like pronated hands. I am the big fat bird scaled T-Rex theory. I'm with the feathered Rex theory. I'm with the more partially feathered Rex theory, like probably some just more elephantine hair on the back or like feathers on the back. If not, then just none at all. You friends with Benji Thomas? Nope, I don't know any of them in person. I'm friends with a lot of people, but Benji Thomas or the people behind that are not people that I know personally. I didn't like that scene. I'm not saying that I don't like them. I'm just saying I don't know them. Just to clear that up so nobody twists my words. I don't like that scene with releasing the dinosaurs and Maisie. I think I'd rather watch JP3 Alan scene again. Do you have any Pacific Rim figures? I don't, but I'd probably pick up the Diamond Select ones. My brother has a bunch of Pacific Rim stuff from the first movie. He doesn't have any Pacific Rim Uprising stuff, but he has a bunch of the first Pacific Rim figures, like a bunch. And then my other brother has a bunch of the kaijus. He has like 3. We have like 3 kaiju. No, yeah, there's like 3. There's 2 knife heads and 1 leather back, I believe. And then my brother has like almost all the Jaegers. So I don't have any though. I'm not a really big fan of Pacific Rim. I might have had a feathered crest, maybe. How do you try to make your fight scenes realistic? That's a good question. Well, I think I'm gonna bring this up by acknowledging a flaw that I see with a bunch of other shows. Now, when I was planning on making Mesozoic Isle, remaking it, a big goal of mine was to look at with anything like this, you should always look to your peers, to people that have already done work or that have had success in this, and look at what worked for them, look what didn't work, look what worked that they did for you, and what didn't work. And one thing that I feel like a lot of shows do poorly is fight scenes. Because I feel like they're just not very realistic. They take too long to get the conflict over with. They just don't feel impactful. Like, these are giant animals with mouths that can rip each other apart. And quite frankly, a lot of the time it does feel like they just kind of spar. And they don't feel like the attacks really impact each other a bunch. And so a majority of my fight scenes are extremely quick. And many of them end in like 1 bite. Or 1 strike, and the fight is over. So I try to play it very realistically by making every attack, every action have impacts in the fight. There's multiple very important moments which are conflicts or fights that could be summed up to literally just 1 bite that takes the other character out, and that's just. That's my way of trying to make the fights more realistic. Can I have a lesson on murder scenes after the stream? Yes, I said I would, my boy. I read your comment before. Maybe you should listen. I'm just assuming you're not listening because a couple times now you've asked me questions and then you said you didn't hear me answer it later. How would you feel if I made a Uganda Giganotosaurus? I don't know if that's a meme or something. I keep hearing Uganda being brung up, and I don't know what exactly that meme is. So sorry. Do you plan to get any figures from Beasts of the Mesozoic because they're releasing the Ceratopsian series? Yes. I think Beasts of the Mesozoic is cool. I think they're a little expensive, which is why I'm only going to get one figure out of each line. I was going to get the Sornitholestes from the Raptor series, the white one with that's based on the secretary bird. But I decided when they released their new repaint for the Velociraptor, the black one, I'm like, nope, I want that one. So I'm going to get the black Velociraptor repaint when that one comes out. And I want to get the Diablo Ceratops from the Ceratopsian line. So those are the two I plan to get. I don't want to get any more, though. Those are so expensive, and they're all exactly the same figure. Or pretty much exactly the same figure. And they're just way too expensive for me to warrant the differences. So I'm just going to get one out of each line. But I do think they're cool, though. Damn, I just realized your hair already grown 2 inches after 2 days of haircut visit. I don't know what you're talking about. I got my haircut like, what was it? It's like a week ago? A week and a half ago? Something like that? I think it was a week ago. Got my haircut a week ago, my dude. And I haven't noticed any growth on it. Yep, it's the same length as it was. Well, obviously it's not exactly the same length, but it's basically the same length because your hair is always growing. Personally, I only have the blue Velociraptor and want to get the Triceratops, maybe some other Ceratopsian figures. Yee. What is the best way to disguise a backyard as a dinosaur island setting? Perspective. Get some plants. Try to really blur out the background. Focus on your characters, even if there are, like, I had to film in my grandparents' garden for a lot of the scenes later on in Mesozoic Isle because I was running out of time and snow was setting in up in the mountains. So some of the stuff inside of Mesozoic Isle is actually filmed inside of my grandparents' garden, and some of them actually do have barely some human things in the background, but you can't even tell what they are because the blur. And what I mean by barely in there is, like, literally if you look between the leaves, you might see something that's vaguely brown, but it would just look like it's a part of the plant. But that actually technically is part of a wood beam for the deck. But if you focus can really be your friend. Perspective, aiming the camera away from those things. You just really have to be creative and making your environment feel big and open, but never pointing at you don't want to point too much at the same place either, because then it'll just feel like you're in a very small area. But pointing away from things in creative ways. You can be very close to human objects, but as long as you angle your camera in the right way, you can completely avoid seeing any of that stuff. Keeping your camera low can help, but it can also cause problems if there's a lot of things up above you. You have to be diverse. You cannot dedicate yourself completely to one shooting method. You cannot. You have to be adaptable. Keep your camera. I already read that. Are you planning to use a 2019 Pteranodon? Not currently. I don't really have any plans for it, but maybe I might. If I do end up getting the figure, then I might use it in like some background shot. But I don't really know. I'm not sure. Because it's kind of hard to use pterosaur figures, because if you use a flying pterosaur, then you can't really have it perched. And if you use a perched one, you can't have it flying. So if I ever do another character, kind of like I do with Maverick in Mesozoic episode or season 1, which was really difficult to do, if I do ever do another pterosaur character, I'm gonna get probably have Kayakasaurus custom make me one or something where I can have him make an identical versions of one that's perched and one that's flying, so that I can do that. But other than that, I don't know. It's a good question though. I'm thinking of starting a Chinosaur series on my channel. That'd be pretty cool. I think a lot of people, it's becoming a pretty popular thing now, so I think that you might have an audience in the waiting for you. That's why I'm getting the old Safari Pteranodon that has posable wings. That one's a little better. It's not going to solve your problem at all. I'm going to be honest. I have both of them. I've used them both. It won't solve your problem, just as a warning. The most you can bend the wings is like that. And that just doesn't look convincing. Oh, actually, I managed to get that bend around like that. Never mind. Okay, I'm not going to mess around with that wire too much. It's going to break. I hate bendy wires so much. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't really help out too much of making it look real, though. Especially since the actual arms don't bend very well. But yeah. I'm a failure. Everything I try to create for my DI series is horrible. Well, if you look at it like that, then everything is going to be horrible. You have to be optimistic. You have to love what you're doing. You have to have passion. That's really what's going to get you through everything. You just have to drive through it, man. Are you getting to Safari? Are you getting to Safari Wild Apatosaurus? I think you're just asking if I'm going to get the Safari Wild Apatosaurus. Maybe eventually. Probably. I probably will for season 2. I might need one for the background or something. I personally like bendy wire because it makes no breaks in the mold, making it more realistic. Yeah, I don't like bendy wires. And they break. I have really bad experiences with bendy wires. I just hate them. I really hate them so much. Are you getting to Safari? Yeah, okay, you meant that. Did I tell you about the Stratosaurus toy that says Allosaurus on its belly? No, I don't know what that one is. This just reminded me of when there was a flipping water hose in one of Bionicle's early Dinosaur Island episodes. Oh, there's been worse than that. He showed his whole house. I just asked a question above that kind of made me sound like a psychopath. Where is the best place for a dinosaur to go for when biting the neck, the stomach, or chest? That's a good question. Well, it depends on what kind of weapon they're using. If you're just talking about biting, then probably the neck. It's a very small area that's very vulnerable that the teeth can easily puncture through. If you're going for the chest, then there's a lot of ribs and bones that are protecting it. And so it's a lot more difficult to get damage done very easily unless you're a very powerful animal. If you're something like a Stegosaurus, then going for the chest would probably be a lot easier because it's lower and it's just got a lot more vital organs and stuff. It's a lot more of a chore to try to aim for something like the throat. So it really depends. But if you're doing biting, I would say that the most valuable place to go for is the neck. And that's usually what I try to depict inside of the show. Or that is what I try to depict. It is most valuable. The Carnegie Spino is literally $84 on Amazon. Woohoo! That's fun. There's been a water pool with my eyes in the eye. As far as walking quets and walking Spino 2020, let's make it happen. Yes, that'd be pretty cool. I want Safari to make a walking posture with us. Yes, that would be awesome. If they did that, then I would bring Maverick back in season 2. Maverick not dying is not a spoiler. I've already proclaimed that he's just kind of more of a symbolic character in season 1. He's not really somebody we follow too much. He doesn't really have his life on the line. Who wins in fight 54 feet T-Rex or a 60-foot Spinosaurus? I think a 40-foot long T-Rex would be well, that's kind of like the same ratio as a 40-foot T-Rex and a 50-foot long Spinosaurus. So I'm still gonna have my money on T-Rex. T-Rex is a beast of an animal, and it just was built for destroying things of similar size. Are you getting Paco's Gorgosaurus? I do plan to, yeah. And I would like to use it as like a Albertosaurus or something in Mesozoic Isle at some point. Dinosaur Island has. I saw one on eBay for $30 and it was gone in 2 hours. Yeah, that's fun. I remember watching that one episode of Bionicle's Dinosaur Island where a baby T-Rex died in a desert. I thought it was funny. That was one of the best scenes inside of Dinosaur Island, in my opinion. I really think Gibson did a great job with that one. That one, I never cried, but it got me emotionally charged. I was like, wow, that's sad. That's really sad. And he did it, even though it was if you choose not to immerse yourself in it, you can tell it's his fingers, closing the eyes. But I thought he did a really great job with his storytelling, and I think that is currently, I'm sorry, but currently, that is my favorite moment in all of Dinosaur Island. I thought that was very well done. Was the baby being abandoned? Well, yeah, because I think that one was done a little better I think that Bloodtooth's death was really great too. That's probably my second favorite moment in the whole show. But I think that the emotional charge was a little bit more powerful inside of the baby dying in the desert. So I think I like that one better. I might be remembering it completely wrong. It's been like 3 years since I've seen it, but yeah. What fossil has been found closest to your house? I don't know. There's probably been something found within a couple miles of me. I mean, I live in the Morrison Formation, but I know that there was a city relatively close to me, that found a Torosaurus skeleton underneath a building that they were doing. I saw it on the news, the local news, so it was pretty cool. I live in the general Denver area, and there's this place called Fortin. If you look at my Kiki quest, there was that exact skeleton they dug up underneath the area, the building, was the skeleton that I heard about on the news, and then I ended up getting to see them excavate, or not excavating, but preparing the fossils inside of the laboratory there. So that was really cool. So yeah, that would probably be the one that I know of, would be that Torosaurus skeleton. I too live near that Torosaurus skeleton. Well, that's awesome, my dude. I just have a sadistic sense of humor sometimes. Hadrosaurus, you sure it isn't because you're prey of the T-Rex usually? When I get my new shelf, I'm gonna buy some PNSO models for it. Yeet. Do you agree with the science boys with a Spino walking on all fours? No, not even close. Spinosaurus would not have walked on all fours. There's no means of supporting its body weight on its front limbs. That's been covered over a long time ago, and we also now know that even with very short legs, which is unlikely, even with short legs, it would have been able to balance on two legs. So it was definitely not quadrupedal. I liked when I went to the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. I got to talk with a guy in the paleontologist booth with the fossils. It was awesome. Yeah, they always have those guys there. Those guys are pretty cool. Holy crap, has anyone else seen this new thing that just came out about the Spinosaurus actually being a crocodilian? No. Off topic, but could carnivores clench their finger into a fist? I'm kind of random. No, that's a good question. Probably not. Some of them probably could have. Well, yeah, they probably could have actually clenched them like up like that a little bit. Probably not too much like an actual fist. Probably would have had some like space between it. But yeah, I think they could. In general, but dinosaur hands were a lot less mobile than primates and stuff. I'm totally not trolling. Totally not. Yep, not at all. Okay. I don't know if that seems a little suspicious the way you're saying that. Spinosaurus was clearly a caiman. Oh yeah, not a single. I mean, Doug Watson knows what he's talking about. Look at the way he reconstructed that Spinosaurus. I totally don't have any beef with Doug Watson at all. I chose the Denver Museum of Nature and Science to be in the beginning of the Safari Morrison. Oh, like as the the intro part. That's cool. So you're gonna go to the Denver Museum of Nature and Science? That's pretty awesome. How about that Psittacosaurus paper about it actually being a taco? That one. Oh, that one got my stomach going there. Yummy. Hey now, don't trash Dougie boy. Hey now, don't. You don't know what happened. I came up with this question because I've always wanted to see Godzilla crush something by clenching his fingers into a fist. So you just want to see him punch something, basically. Or you want something in his hand, and he crushes it. How about that Stegosaurus paper about its plates being able to use to fly? Yeah. They use it like propeller blades. I can tell you tomorrow, Gibson. It's not a fun story, and I definitely don't want to talk about it on here. Spinosaurus used hot air sacs into its sail float like a hot air balloon. That's fun. I want something in his hand and crushes it. That would be interesting. Maybe he'll crush King Kong's head in his hand instead of Godzilla versus Kong. Have you heard of the paper of ceratopsians using their horns to shoot lasers? Oof, that's like Star Wars stuff right there. That's cool. That's cool. I like that one. That one's a good paper. Very good paper. Very, very well researched, yeah. Kong stands no chance. Well, I think he stands more of a chance than people give him credit for. But, yeah, Godzilla definitely should win. And Kong won the first movie, so Godzilla deserves to win this one. What about that flying squirrel ankylosaurus? Yummy. That one's my favorite. I'm just like, every single one of these are just getting better and better. Flying squirrel ankylosaurus. Wouldn't it just be like a flying ankylosaurus? But I get why you said flying squirrel, because you wanted to reference exactly what method it was taking. They're using to take flight. How about the aquatic Quetzalcoatlus? Hell yeah, dude! That was like, it was like a manta ray. It was just flying through the water. It's like the best. What about that study about the Triceratops that threw a boomerang? Oof, that was cool. That was cool, man. I mean, Doug did tell me I needed to re-upload my entire Prestasuchus review because of a misunderstanding about finger claws. Let's not get into it, Gibson, because I'm not really happy with what happened. How interested in living animals are you? I actually became a lot more interested really recently. I think it was because, well, for one, when I was filming Mesozoic Isle, I think it was maybe around November, we were just really enjoying watching some elk out there. And I really just realized how much I love elk. Elk are just beautiful animals. Their mating calls are just majestic as hell. And I really love those animals. And so that kind of got me more into like elk as animals. And then I recently watched a bunch of documentaries on wolves and stuff. I'm really into some of that stuff. So right now I'm really into wolves and elk. I think those are really cool. Have you seen Captain Marvel? No, I'm not really that excited to watch it, to be honest. But I'll watch it eventually. What happened, if that's not too personal? Nope, I'm not saying anything. What about the study of T-Rex using its hands to grab weapons to fight its prey? I wouldn't say they're using it as weapons. Maybe just to help like hold things in place. Yeah. Sorry, Pokesaurus. Nothing personal with you. It's just I don't feel like getting into the drama, and I'm not going to stoop that low to talk about it publicly. It's just not. Just doesn't need to be known. Just doesn't need to be known. I do want to talk to Gibson about it though, because I think it does pertain to him, and I think that he should know about it. Your lack of excitement in Captain Marvel is warranted. Oh, you watched it? How about the study of Dilophosaurus being the biggest dinosaurs ever? Oof, that one's a good one. What about the study about Tylosaurus using bottles to fruit punch to hunt its prey? Now, that one's my new favorite one. Have you ever heard about the paper about Liopleurodon being 80 foot long and about that dire wolf being able to transform into a human? Oh, that paper. That paper, I think, what was it called? The Twilight Saga? I got you, yeah. What about that study that showed T-Rex could lift a hippo with its arm? That's funny. It's actually true. That's not really true. Yeah, I've seen Captain Marvel, I mean, wow. It just wasn't impressive. Hey, Kiki, how long do you stream for? I don't know. I was actually going to say I wanted to get off pretty soon. I'm not gonna say what Gibson just said, but yeah, Gibson, if you hear me, that's basically exactly it. But he was, but it was a little bit more extreme than I was anticipating. So yeah, it was yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Somebody respond to me, please. Somebody make comments. I don't see anything you've said recently, my dude. I saw Captain Marvel and How to Train Your Dragon. Look up Sheed Aquarium. Captain Marvel is about as interesting to me as a wet blanket. Oh my gosh. Somebody respond to me, please. Oh, really? I've heard that's how strong T-Rex's arm was. No, that's a heavy exaggeration. I mean, T-Rex's arm was strong, but he could not lift up a hippo with one arm. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Or really, what about the study that shows dinosaurs making human figures and debating if they had feathers? That's funny. A fun fact, there's an aquarium equivalent to the Field Museum. Are you talking about the one here in Colorado? Captain Marvel is better than the press is suggesting, in my opinion, but it just had so much potential and fell flat on all aspects. That's kind of what I was worried about. I kind of think it's just going to be boring, like just lackluster. Collect a Roaring Rex's best collective figure, Rex figure. Thank you, Cesar. I'm glad you agree with me. What about the study that Moto likes you? I think Gibson can give you a little bit more information on that study. I think he's very experienced in that department. Which carnivores babies or herbivore babies? Which carnivore babies or herbivore babies? Which ones are cuter? I don't know. I'm going to say a carnivore just because they look more like birds, and birds are really adorable. But I think that some herbivores could be more cute. Shed Aquarium is a big, full of exhibits like a Field Museum. Same place, too. Oh, really? Oh, it's in Chicago. That's pretty cool. They also argue over humans being four-legged. Yeah, a trike is an adult torvosaur. I don't think Torvosaurus turned into Triceratops. I'm just saying. I just don't think that happened. Just a hunch. I don't think that theory has much reason to go with it. But you know, I mean Torosaurus. No, Torosaurus is most likely a separate genus at this point. Carnivore babies, because one day they'll be able to eat you, and there's nothing cuter than that. True that, my boy. My questions are as random as the Wheel of Fortune. Can you please read the comment? It says it was made at 4:11. I don't see the times on these, unfortunately. I don't see the times. I'm scrolling up. The reason why Dinosaur Island was so bad at quality is a kid jumped in a car, and then when there wasn't really a new episode because the series has ended, we got the official narrator. Okay, that was a little random. Is that what you wanted me to read? I think that was what he was wanting me to read. Also, you must find a way to get the MOR, the Museum of the Rockies, because all of the Tyrannosaurus and Triceratops fossils from all the ages. Yes, that would be really cool. I want to do a Kiki Quest episode there. Bionicle, well, I guess I'm not the only psychopath here. Yeah. It's weird, I'm bipedal and quadrupedal. Yep. Did you hear about the study about T-Rex was a dubious genus, Anomalocaris? That's pretty funny. Still like your Tylosaurus one a little better. Just ask it again. Godzilla jazz music stops. You think Toho ever make Godzilla fight Gamera? It almost happened, but I think the people behind Gamera, whatever studio it is behind Gamera, backed out last minute. I don't know. Hopefully it'll happen one day. That'd be cool. A Spinosaurus fossil was found with a huge buzzsaw implanted on it. They're in it. There's a study that Torosaurus is actually a giant Wendigo. Minmi was actually a giant emu. And the T-Rex was actually a giant blind Komodo dragon. That makes perfect sense. Basically, the one that says how Binosaurus made dinosaurs season 1 and 2 in a car. Yeah, I saw that one. I'm a Dominus Rex. I can't walk on all 5 legs. The 5 leg only a guy has, if you know what I mean. Sweet Dreams theme plays in the background. Just, my gosh. Okay, going back to Mesozoic Isle here. Does anybody have any last questions before I end this stream? Anybody have any last minute questions before I end the stream? About Mesozoic Isle. Or, even better, what if Toho made a movie with Godzilla fighting Ultraman? Godzilla's, no, he didn't. He was with Zone Fighter? Strike Fighter? Zone Fighter? I think it was Zone Fighter. He has something with Zone Fighter, and it wasn't. When is Mesozoic Isle? That question gets asked like every stream like 5 times. If you go back to the first 10 minutes of the stream, I explain all that in more depth. Is Doug Watson the surprise villain that kills the M-Rex? Absolutely. Zone Fighter, yeah. Dinosaurs went to Pluto in space suits about 30 million years ago. Cute Twilight Zone theme. Yep. There's a study that Helicoprion actually was actually a table with a buzzsaw. That sounds pretty legit. Did you take puppeteering classes to help you with better quality? No. We were all kids, so we played with our toys. That's how I learned how to puppet them all. I played with them. I literally, when I'm planning out scenes, I will grab the figure sometimes and just sit here and put my head where I want the camera and just see how I can get certain things to look. And I'll just puppet them in here. That's how I practice with certain things. Do you guys see the study that dinosaurs were aliens? Yeah, I think that was made by some dude named David. Yeah, that guy. That's some weirdo. Mind Boy is trolling. Oh, I hope. I never watched Mesozoic Isle. What is it about? Yeah, I hope he's trolling. Same Kiki. That's how I practice puppeting too. LMAO. Marionyx was always concerned with God saving the queen. Interesting comment. Nope, Gibson never watched it. Did you see the study that Pacific Rim was a bad movie? Such bullshit. Let's not cuss in the chat. Thank you very much. I'm going to remove that comment. I just added a E to the end of the SHIT word, and I probably should have added more. Or just removed a bunch of that stuff. What do you think those 2 monsters are in the Godzilla 2 trailers? Original monsters. One of them is an arachnid type, and the other one's more reptilian. That's all I care about. I'm just looking forward to seeing what they actually look like inside the movie. I never saw what is Mesozoic Isle. I need to know. There's 2 trailers. There's a prologue. There's about 19 streams now that you can watch back about me talking about it. And there's an introduction video. Oh, and 2 other teasers that happened, earlier this year. There's also an intro sequence. There's tons of material there that you can use to learn about it, Mind Boy. I would highly suggest looking into that stuff. That's how you learn about Mesozoic Isle. There's a new study where there's a new species called Anguisaurus. It nagged all the other dinosaurs to death. That's why they're all extinct. Fair enough. I heard about a Baryonyx fossil or found in the bottle. When is Scars happening? I don't know. You see, the guy just writing it has been kind of slacking on the writing. And but yeah, hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Maybe 2 days. Maybe 2 days. Is Mesozoic Isle good? It's terrible. It's really bad. This is still going on. Yep, I'm just about to end it though. I'm trying to get Mesozoic Isle questions, but people just keep asking other things and making jokes and asking what Mesozoic Isle is. No, it sucks. Exactly. With virgin oil, just stick your finger in it. It's just oil. You're so funny, Mind Boy. I hope you're proud of that joke. Hey, what about that study that says Stegosaurus shot its tail spikes like missiles? That's funny. That makes sense. That's is that the Tikizilla plush made from an old T-Rex plush? Because I think I have it. I don't know what it's made out of, but I just know it's got 2 fingers like a T-Rex, and it's got like a general like theropod body, but it's got like stegosaur plates and tooth atomizers. So yeah. How many characters will die in MI? If I named all the characters that die, then it wouldn't be fun or a reason to watch it, now would it? Damn, he was sarcastic. He hates my jokes. Oh no. Mindboy Plays is the most Gibson clone of all the Gibson clones. All of them. All right. Yeah, that's probably more accurate. Gojira guy. So any last questions, guys? Do we have any more questions in Mesozoic, or should I just end the stream now? So what is the purpose of have a stupid short film? I mean, like Scars. It has a really good story and a nice message, and it's made by a really good person who has a lot of talent but just doesn't put it up to use all the time. I'm going to send you a picture of a T-Rex plush I have that have the same body shape as the Kikizilla. Okay, I'm really curious to see if you actually have Kikizilla, because I've never seen anybody. I couldn't even find any pictures of that on the internet. If you have a Kikizilla, that's pretty sweet. Man, I bet you hate that guy. I don't hate the guy. I love that guy. I love him like a brother. He is a brother. But he frustrates me. I literally edit using VideoPad. Well, whatever works, dude. Are you the only narrator in MI, or are there multiple ones? I don't narrate MI at all. My sister narrates it. I would highly recommend checking out the prologue and the trailers. I think that you, because you seem very interested in it, so I think that you'd enjoy them. Start with the first trailer, and then go to the second trailer, and then watch the prologue. And then you can watch the released intro. I released the intro as a teaser, and that's what's going to be in the actual main show. The prologue episode is just like a backstory thing. It tells you what you need to know, but it has some pretty cool stuff in there. Cop out. I'm not a cop out. What are you talking about? I narrated my own documentaries. I know you're joking. I've narrated my own documentaries, but I like the aesthetic of a female voice. I just think it fits very well, and I think my sister does really well, and I wanted to work with her. And it's been like 2.5 to 3 years now that I've planned on having her as a narrator for it. So, yeah. I am the second most Gibson clone of all the Gibson clones. Well, you don't really have his like profile picture or anything, so I mean you're not very Gibson clone right now. Maybe personality-wise, maybe. Can you please name a character after my name, Aaron? Well, I try to name characters after people that I know if they're personal to me or mean a lot to me, or if there's like a similarity, I guess. But I also really don't like using human names too much. Because certain human names just don't go well with dinosaur characters. No offense, Gibson, but I don't really think Sharon is a good name for a dinosaur. And Aaron is kind of the same thing. I don't really think it's that good of a name for a dinosaur. And same thing with Aiden. That's my name. I would never use Aiden for a dinosaur name. I just think it's a bad name for a dinosaur. So certain dinosaur, so some human names I will use for them. But most of the time it's ones that you can get away with naming an animal a little bit more reasonably. Some of them are a little bit more purposefully human, intentionally, but I do try to kind of mix it up. I have a bunch of different names. Use Gibby as a name. I do have a Gripposaurus. The Gripposaurus in Mesozoic is actually technically named Gibson. It's named after Gibson in homage to, or as an homage to Dinosaur Island, which is what got me into making Mesozoic in the first place. So I did name that Gripposaurus character after him, but that's just a canon name. It's a canon name for the character. It's not actually named that in the show. You never hear that. It's not a named character. But if you look on the website, you do see that the people that watch that animal, they did give it a name, Gibson. So that's technically its name. So there you go. It's not Sharon. It's Charon. It's the name of a gosh darn moon, and it's pronounced slightly differently. Oh, so you aren't mispronouncing Sharon. It is supposed to be Sharon. It's not Sharon. Sharon. Oh, my bad. I stand corrected. And hey, don't blame me. Cameron came up with the Sharon and Titus names. Oh, that's funny. That's funny because I made fun of your pronunciation of that in front of Cameron. He didn't say crap. He did not say crap to defend you at all. He just kind of went with it like, yeah, like I don't know why Gibson's pronouncing it that way. What?
What a butt nugget. He totally didn't defend you on that at all. So is Marcus a bad name for a dinosaur? I did actually have my Ceratosaurus, the Pterobabat Ceratosaurus. His name originally was Marcus, but I felt like it was too human, and I don't really care for it too much. It's up to you. It really, if you like really human names for your characters, cool. Whatever works for you. Just for me personally, I don't really care for naming them like that. But I did rename Marcus to Morrison. That's his name inside the series now. What's Kiki Quest? It's a documentary series that I'm doing on the channel. I have one episode out right now. You can go ahead and check it out. It's like it's where I visit paleontology-related areas in the world, and I'm planning on doing a lot more this year. I've only done one so far, because I've been busy with Mesozoic, but expect a lot more, hopefully, through the latter half of this year. I'm planning on releasing some more, because I'm going out to see Caesar in California this year, and we're going to film a couple Kiki Quests together out there, and I want to release them in the latter half of this year. While that's impressive, I've been hanging out with Indorex and resetting my collection shelf. Sweetness. Overly mundane sounding human names rarely work. Yeah. Tar pits. Hell yeah. We're going to see the La Brea tar pits, me boys. George is not too late to go to college. George, Angie's old boyfriend, is a millionaire. George, say hello to my little friend. 88 more subs for you before you get to 1,000 subs. Yeah. We're going to do what are you going to do for a 1,000 sub special? I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's been coming a lot faster than I've been prepared to make something for. So I don't know what. I guess we'll see. If you guys have any good suggestions, please leave them in the comment section of this video, or any of my more recent videos. If you just ever want to give me a suggestion. What are the names of the Ceratosaurus in MI? The Ceratosaurus pack is made up of 3 individuals. There's the brown Safari LTD Ceratosaurus, the green Papo Ceratosaurus, and the red Pterobabat Ceratosaurus. The red Pterobabat Ceratosaurus is named Morrison, which is named after the Morrison Formation, which Ceratosaurus was discovered in, and that's in Colorado where I live. And then the green Papo one is named Estes, which is a city that I go through, or a town that I go through when I went up to go filming. It's in Rocky Mountain National Park, or it's right next to Rocky Mountain National Park, and it's in Colorado, which is in the Morrison Formation. So therefore, I named her after Estes Park. So her name's Estes. And the Alpha Ceratosaurus, the brown Safari one, is named Cecil. It's a human name, but that's intentional because I do want him to have more of a personal effect for his motivations and whatnot. So he has a personal name. He's the only one that still has a human name. So that's him, Cecil, because it has the same starting letter as Stratosaurus. Stratosaurus, Cecil. Cecil, Stratosaurus. What about the sponges? I don't think I've named the sponges yet. Estes Hill Elementary School is a school that some of my classmates graduated from. Oh, that's pretty cool. Frick, I had a Coelophysis named Cecil. Well, what's the big deal? Yeah. I don't own the name Cecil, my dude. You can name him Cecil if you want. Have you seen the study that proves that Torvosaurus is actually one little rapper and a Prasasuchus is actually Scarface? Okay, then. How do I hit 100 subs? Yeah, I don't know what that was. Let's see. I need advice. He's just asking for advice there. You don't need to block his comment. My boy Plays said, how do I hit 100 subs? I need advice. Man, if I knew that there was just one method to getting subs, I think everybody would do that. But I don't have a really good answer for you. What I did, it took me a long time. If you guys don't know, I've been on, in July this year, I will have been on Kikizilla 101 for 6 years. 6 years. I will have been on this channel for 6 years, and I'm just now about to hit 1,000 subscribers. And I've technically been on YouTube for 8, almost 9 years, just doing stuff on YouTube. So, yeah, it's a little difficult. I've never really had super mega success. This channel is the only one that I've really had success with, and when I changed over to the DinoTube community, which has just been amazing for me, and I've never felt this kind of support before. It's just incredible. And I really think that if I had one big advice, it's just be passionate, man. Do what you love. Eventually, if you love what you do and you're really happy about it, other people will love it too. And eventually people will come around and they'll enjoy it. Just make sure you're enjoying what you're doing. That's all I care about. That's my best advice to you. When should I do season 2 for my DI finished season 1 in February? I don't know. It's your show. That's really something that only you can answer, and it really comes down to what you feel is right. Also, you'll know a lot more after people watch your show and you see what they want. I think you'll learn a lot more. I really need DI advice. I have a great idea, but I have had some problems executing it well. I think taking your time is one of the best things I can advise you to do, is just take your time, make sure you're really putting your all into it, and make sure you're doing something to the best of your ability. And quality, you should try to do your best with what you have available to you, try to make the best quality you can. But really, I think it comes down to story. If your show is based around a story, make sure you feel confident with your story and you feel like it's done well. I do have plans to do a series called Dino Cinema, which I can give some tips and stuff on how to properly create a story like that. But that's only something I'm going to be able to do after I'm finished the Mesozoic Isle. But yeah, hopefully that will help you out eventually once that comes out. Take your time, plan well, and spare no expense. Exactly. What do you all think of the Aquat video, I think is what you're talking about, the Aquat Series video? Yeah, Cesar's first ever Aquat Series video interview. Aquat Series fans, go check that out. I felt like summer is a good idea. I don't know. Any dinosaurs that inspired mythological creatures? I don't know for sure. Mythological creatures. I mean, I know that pterosaur was the inspiration behind the ropin. So there's that. You can look. Trey the Explainer has a great video on the ropin. He has actually a whole video talking about cryptids that were kind of like prehistoric animals-esque. I'd watch that. He does a much better job than I do. So look up Trey the Explainer. He does a fantastic job. You'll love his videos. Absolutely great job what he does there. Cesar learns how to speak. It was hilarious. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Kiki. At least I have a great story idea. Then that's the most important thing. Try to make the quality as good as you can, but story is number one. Story is number one. Make sure people care about your story. Make sure people care. I think that's the biggest thing that people like. Obviously, people really love the passion. I think that's what's so great about Dinosaur Island. The first 3 seasons, yes, they're really crappy quality, but there was so much passion, and I think all of us could relate to the energy that Gibson was putting on screen with, him just not caring and just playing with his dinosaur toys and just enjoying himself. And that charisma carried through on screen. That's what made us enjoy it. And I think season 3 also had a lot of quality issues, but that one had a really great story. He did a good job with that one compared to the other seasons. And I think that's what really carried that one through for me and what really got me. I think season 3 is really what got me to do Mesozoic Isle, because I really enjoyed season 3. And I think season 4 it has a classic story. It's not very, most original storyline, but it's done well. It's done the best for that kind of story in the whole community. It has its flaws, but it was enjoyable. It had a good story, and it seemed like he tried to focus on that. And I think that's really what you got to do. Just focus on your stories. My tears of it being the end. Hell yeah. That was definitely a big motivation. I'm original now. I changed my profile pic. I still see the Gibson one, but I'm sure it'll change over time. It's usually just laggy. Who would win in a fight, a 50-foot dragon or a 45-foot T-Rex? Probably a dragon. I think a dragon half the size of a T-Rex could kill it if it has the ability to breathe fire. If the Rexy videos on Aquacities tell me anything, it's that Kiki will be a wonderful parent. Oh yeah. And it's just Rex, man. It's Rex from MI. Hell yeah. That video, that people like keep saying like you're gonna beat the hell out of that figure. I'm like, it's already beat the hell out of it. It's got so many scratches, and Papo figures are so durable. I'm not worried about it. I mean, just look at this. I'm gonna grab it for you guys, so you guys can see just how beat up this figure is. Just from me playing with it. I mean, it's got a lot of scratches on it, and even with that, it still looks pretty good. It looks like scars and stuff. I really love it. I think this Papo figure is very durable. It's missing a hand. Stuff like that. I think it's fine. It's fine. Everything's good. Put that down. There we go. And stand Papo. Aloe. Ugh. I drew a new profile pic yesterday. Ooh, that's cool. What is that? I can't tell what that is. It's too small. Sorry. I'm glad you shaved. It looked like you had a rat above your lips. Oh, thanks, man. That's that really helps my self-esteem. You know how to get to me. I'm perfectly where I had it on there. I was just too lazy to shave, and to be honest, I didn't really mind it too much. But I think I do look better clean shaved, huh? I do want to try out a goatee one day, but I don't have enough facial hair to do it. So, yeah, I got to shave a little bit more. As far as Feathered Rex looks like it's been through both World Wars. It's a Therizinosaurus. Oh, okay, okay. I could tell it was a small head. I just can't see any of the detail from this distance. It's too small. Anyways, people are dropping off the stream. Not too many, but some. And while we have 12 likes on this, that is awesome. Thank you guys so much for the likes. And, what is this? Who'd win a fight, Megalodon or Moby Dick? Probably Moby Dick. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all the questions. I really appreciate your guys' support more than anything. It really means the freaking world to me that you guys are being so supportive because it's really been difficult. And so I hope that you guys enjoy Mesozoic episode 1 when it comes out. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show as it comes out. So, yeah, keep with it. Don't worry. Mesozoic is coming. It's just taking a little bit longer than I wanted it to. So, yeah, I love all you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.